Welcome back to our channel where we dive into the fascinating world of coin collecting. Today we're exploring some of the most sought-after coins in the collector's market: the commemorative quarter dollar, the Jefferson nickel, the wheat penny, and the Roosevelt dime. These coins aren't just pocket change, they can be worth big bucks. Let's dive in. First up, we're focusing on a classic piece of American coinage, the 1941 wheat penny with the Denver Mint mark, also known as the D Mint mark, in extra fine condition. Let's explore its history, features, and current market value. So let's get started. First, a bit of history. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, was designed by Victor David Brenner and first issued in 1909. This design replaced the Indian head cent and was created to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The wheat penny was minted until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. Victor David Brenner's design features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, making it the first regular issue American coin to depict a real person. The reverse side showcases two stalks of wheat, symbolizing prosperity and abundance. This design remained relatively unchanged for almost 50 years. Now let's talk about the 1941 wheat penny specifically. This year saw millions of these pennies minted, but today we're focusing on those produced at the Denver Mint. You can identify these coins by the small D Mint mark located just below the date on the obverse side. The Denver Mint was one of three mints producing pennies in 1941, along with Philadelphia and San Francisco. The Denver Mint produced over 128 million pennies that year. While that sounds like a lot, finding one in extra fine condition is a different story. So what exactly does extra fine condition mean? In coin grading terms, extra fine is a grade that indicates a coin has light wear on its highest points but retains most of its design details. You can still see fine details like Lincoln's hair and the wheat stalk lines clearly. This makes EF coins highly desirable to collectors who want well-preserved pieces without the hefty price tag of mint state coins. Here's a quick comparison. A 1941 with D penny in good condition will show significant wear, with many details faded or missing. In contrast, a 1941 with D in extra fine condition will have sharp details and only slight signs of wear. Now let's dive into the collector market value of a 1941 with D Mint mark wheat penny in extra fine condition. The value of any coin is influenced by several factors, including rarity, demand, and condition. As of today, a 1941 with D Mint mark wheat penny in extra fine condition can fetch anywhere between $500,000 on the collector market. While this may seem like a huge amount, it's significantly higher than its face value and reflects its collectible status. Prices can fluctuate based on the coin's specific condition, market demand, and any recent sales trends. It's always a good idea to check the latest auction results or consult a professional coin dealer for the most accurate valuation. Remember, the true value of a coin is not just in its monetary worth but also in its historical significance and the joy of collecting. Each coin tells a story, and the 1941 D wheat penny is no exception. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, adding a coin like this to your collection can be incredibly rewarding. Next up, we're diving into the world of Roosevelt dimes, focusing specifically on the 1999 issue with the D Mint mark. We'll explore its history, features, and most importantly, its market value in today's collector market. So, sit back, relax, and let's get started. The Roosevelt dime has been a staple of American currency since it was first introduced in 1946, replacing the Mercury dime. It was designed by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the United States Mint, and features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse side. The design was chosen to honor Roosevelt's legacy, particularly his efforts in founding the March of Dimes, an organization that played a crucial role in combating polio. The dime's reverse showcases a torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. The 1999 Roosevelt dime, like other dimes minted after 1964, is composed of a copper nickel clad instead of the previous silver composition. 1999 Roosevelt dime with the D Mint mark. The D stands for the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities for producing American coinage. The obverse side of the coin features a left-facing profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, along with the inscriptions "Liberty in God We Trust" and the year 1999 below the year. You'll find the D Mint mark. On the reverse, we have the torch, olive branch, and oak branch with the inscriptions "United States of America e pluribus unum" and one dime. This design has remained consistent since the dime's introduction in 1946. When it comes to coin collecting, the condition of the coin is paramount. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. The 1999 with D Roosevelt 1 dime in very fine condition means it shows moderate wear on the highest points but still retains much of its original detail. Typically, VF coins are graded between 20 and 35 on the Sheldon grading scale. For a Roosevelt dime to be classified as very fine, you'll notice that while there is evident wear on Roosevelt's cheek and hair, the major details remain sharp and distinct. Now, let's talk about the market value of a 1999 with D. Roosevelt 1 dime in very fine condition. Coin values fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and condition. As of today, the collector market value for a 1999 with D. Roosevelt dime in very fine condition typically ranges from $300,000. While it might seem like a significant amount, the value can increase if the coin is part of a larger collection or if it has unique features such as errors or misprints. It's always a good idea to keep an eye on market trends and consult updated price guides or professional appraisers for the most accurate valuations. To sum up, the 1999 with D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime in very fine condition is a common yet valuable piece for collectors. While its monetary value might be highest, it represents a significant part of American numismatic history. If you're starting or expanding your collection, keep an eye out for these dimes and consider the overall condition and any unique features. Next up, we're going to talk about a very special coin that many collectors seek, the 1916 wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition. So let's jump right in. The 1916 wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, is a coin that holds significant historical value. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this penny features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the reverse showcasing two wheat stalks, hence the name wheat penny. But what makes the 1916 version without a mint mark so special? To understand its value, we need to look at a few key factors: its history, its rarity, and its condition. Let's start with a bit of history. 1916 was a significant year in American history. The nation was on the brink of entering World War I, and there were many changes happening domestically. The wheat penny was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and it remained in circulation until 1958. The 1916 wheat penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins produced in Philadelphia typically do not carry a mint mark, which is why you'll notice its absence on this coin. Now, let's talk about the rarity and condition. Coins are graded based on their condition, which significantly affects their market value. The fine condition is a mid-range grade, indicating that the coin has moderate wear but still retains a lot of its detail. In coin grading, fine is a specific term. According to the Sheldon scale, which is commonly used for grading, a coin in fine condition F12 will have moderate wear with some details visible in the major devices. For our 1916 wheat penny, this means Lincoln's cheek and jaw will be worn but clearly separated, and the lines of the wheat stalks will be visible but worn. So, what is the value of a 1916 wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition today? Well, this is where it gets exciting for collectors. Values can fluctuate based on market demand, rarity, and the specific condition of the coin. As of 2024, a 1916 wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition typically ranges from $400,000. While this might seem like a fortune, it's important to remember that coin values can increase over time, especially if the coin is well preserved and the market for Lincoln cents remains strong. Additionally, owning a piece of history like the 1916 wheat penny is about more than just its monetary value. It's about the story it tells and the connection it provides to the past. Each coin has passed through countless hands and witnessed over a century of history. Many collectors find great joy in building a complete set of Lincoln cents, and the 1916 wheat penny is an essential part of that journey. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, finding a coin like this in fine condition can be a thrilling experience. To sum up, the 1916 wheat penny without a mint mark in fine condition is a valuable and fascinating coin for collectors. Its historical significance makes it a worthy addition to any collection. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of numismatics with a closer look at the 1977 Jefferson nickel, specifically those without a mint mark in extra fine condition. How much are these coins worth in today's collector market? Let's find out. Now, let's get into the details of this particular coin. The Jefferson nickel has been a staple of American currency since it was first minted in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel. Designed by Felix Schlag, the obverse features a portrait of Thomas Jefferson, while the reverse showcases his estate, Monticello. Fast forward to 1977. This was a notable year in the series for a few reasons. First, let's talk about the absence of the mint mark. A Jefferson nickel without a mint mark indicates it was minted in Philadelphia, as the Philadelphia Mint did not use a mint mark on nickels until 1980. In extra fine condition, a 1977 Jefferson nickel will show slight wear on the highest points of the design, but all details should be sharp and clear. You might notice some light wear on Jefferson's cheek and hair, and a little bit of smoothing on the steps of Monticello. In the coin grading scale, extra fine or XF is a grade that falls between very fine and about uncirculated. Coins in this condition are quite desirable because they have retained most of their original details while showing just a bit of circulation wear. So what about the value? As of today, a 1977 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in extra fine condition is considered particularly rare. Millions were minted, and many have survived in decent condition. The value of this coin in extra fine condition typically ranges from $400,000. Yes, you heard that right, $400,000. According to the latest coin price guides and market analysis, the 1977 Jefferson nickel doesn't command high prices. Its value lies more in its historical and collectible appeal than in its monetary worth. However, if you find a pristine, uncirculated example or one with a unique error, the value could be higher. Speaking of errors, keep an eye out for any unusual features like double dies, off-center strikes, or other minting anomalies. These can significantly increase the value of a coin. Always check with a reputable coin dealer or a professional grading service if you think you have an error coin. In summary, while a 1977 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark in extra fine condition may make you rich, it's a wonderful piece of American numismatic history. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, it's these everyday coins that often have the most interesting stories to tell. Next up, we're taking a closer look at a particular piece of American history, the 1965 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark. This coin might look like just another quarter at first glance, but there's a lot more to it. So let's explore its history, its unique features, and of course, its value in today's collector market. First, let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1932. Designed by John Flanagan, it features a profile of George Washington on the obverse or head side, and an eagle with outspread wings on the reverse or tail side. In 1965, the U.S. Mint made a significant change. Due to a silver shortage, the composition of the quarter was altered from 90% silver to a copper nickel clad. This makes the 1965 Washington quarter the first of its kind to be struck in this new composition. Now, you might notice that our featured 1965 quarter lacks a mint mark. This isn't an error. In fact, no quarters minted in 1965, 1966, or 1967 bear a mint mark. This was a deliberate decision by the U.S. Mint to discourage hoarding during a time of coin shortages. When it comes to grading, a coin's condition significantly influences its value. Our 1965 Washington quarter is in fine condition, meaning it shows moderate wear. The details in Washington's hair are worn but still visible, and the eagle's feathers on the reverse are discernible, although worn. So, how much is this coin worth in today's collector market? The value of a 1965 Washington quarter in fine condition typically ranges from $355,000. Yes, you heard that right. Despite its historical significance, the 1965 quarter is quite rare with hundreds of millions minted. As a result, its collector value is particularly high compared to rarer coins. The 1965 Washington quarter is a fascinating piece for beginners to start their collections with. Its low cost and historical context make it an accessible entry point into the world of coin collecting. While rare, the 1965 quarter is still a key date for collectors, especially those focusing on the history of U.S. currency changes. Its value can increase slightly if found in higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated. In conclusion, the 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark may make you rich, but it holds a special place in American numismatic history. It's a testament to a pivotal time in the evolution of U.S. coinage and a great addition to any collection. Next up, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Roosevelt dime, specifically the 1967 issue without a mint mark. If you've ever wondered about its history, characteristics, and current market value, stay tuned because we've got all the details right here. Now, exploring a particular gem in the numismatic world, the 1967 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark. So let's get started. First, a little history. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946 in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year. Roosevelt was instrumental in founding the March of Dimes, an organization dedicated to combating polio, which he had struggled with for much of his life. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is particularly interesting because it doesn't have a mint mark. This absence is due to a period from 1965 to 1967, when the United States Mint removed mint marks from all coins to discourage hoarding during a coin shortage. During these years, all dimes, regardless of which mint produced them, looked the same. So if you have a 1967 dime without a mint mark, it's likely from Philadelphia, which was the primary minting location for these coins. Now let's talk about the characteristics of this coin. The 1967 Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper nickel clad, meaning it has a pure copper core and an outer layer made of a copper nickel alloy. It weighs about 2.27 grams and has a diameter of 17.91 millimeters. On the obverse, you'll see a profile of Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinnock, the chief engraver of the United States Mint at that time. The reverse features a torch symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch representing peace and an oak branch representing strength and independence. So how much is a 1967 Roosevelt dime in fine condition worth today? The value of any coin is determined by factors like rarity, demand, and condition. Since 1967 dimes are particularly rare, their value is very high. However, for collectors, even common coins in excellent condition can be prized. In fine condition, which is a step above average circulation but not quite mint state, a 1967 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark typically fetches around $500,000. While this may seem like much, coins in higher grades can be more valuable. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1967 Roosevelt dime, checking online marketplaces like eBay or specialized coin auction sites is a good idea. Prices can vary slightly depending on the buyer's interest and the coin's exact condition. For those with coins in very fine, extra fine, or uncirculated conditions, prices can go higher, sometimes reaching a few dollars, especially if the coin is part of a larger collection or set. In conclusion, while the 1967 Roosevelt dime without a mint mark may make you rich, it's a fascinating piece of history and a staple in any Roosevelt dime collection. Its value lies not just in its monetary worth, but in its story and its place in the broader tapestry of American coinage. Next up, we're diving into a very special coin, the 1971 Washington quarter with the D mint mark. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, you'll find something interesting here, so stick around. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by John Flanagan, this coin has become a staple in American currency and a favorite among collectors. The original design remained largely unchanged until the state quarters program began in 1999, but today, we are focusing on a specific year, 1971. 1971 was a significant year for the Washington quarter. By this time, the coins were no longer made of silver. Instead, they were composed of a copper nickel-clad composition. This year also marks a period where mintages were quite high, with millions of quarters produced at both the Denver and Philadelphia mints. We're focusing on the 1971 Washington quarter minted in Denver, which you'll recognize by the D mint mark.so. How do you identify a 1971 with D Washington quarter in very fine VF condition? Here are the key characteristics to look for. Mint mark: look for the D mint mark on the reverse side right below the eagle. Where in VF condition, you should see some wear on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers, but all major details should still be visible. Luster: the coin should have a slight luster, although it may be diminished due to circulation. Surface: the surface should be clean with minimal nicks or scratches, though some light marks are acceptable. Now, let's talk about the market value. As of today, a 1971 with D Washington quarter in very fine condition is considered a rare coin due to its high mintage. However, it still holds value for collectors, especially those completing a year set or a specific mint mark collection. According to recent price guides, a 1971 with Washington quarter in VF condition typically sells for around $600,000. While it may be a high-value coin, it can still be a significant piece in your collection, especially as part of a larger set. So, why should you collect 1971 with D Washington quarters? Well, here are a few reasons. If you're aiming to complete a full set of Washington quarters, every year in mint mark is important. Coins from the 1970s represent a transition period in U.S. coinage history. These quarters are relatively affordable, making them a great starting point for new collectors. Here are some tips for collecting Washington quarters. Start with circulated coins. If you're on a budget, start by collecting circulated coins. They're more affordable and easier to find. Use a magnifying glass. Always use a magnifying glass to inspect details and confirm the mint mark and condition. Store properly. Keep your coins in a protective album or holders to prevent damage and maintain their condition. That wraps up our deep dive into the 1971 D Washington quarter. While it may be the most valuable coin, it's an interesting piece of history and a must-have for any serious collector. Next up, the 1962 Monticello Jefferson nickel, specifically focusing on those without a mint mark and in extra fine condition. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting, understanding the value and history of this coin is essential. So let's get started. The Jefferson nickel, first minted in 1938, features Thomas Jefferson on the obverse and his home, Monticello, on the reverse. Designed by Felix Schlag, this coin has become a staple in American numismatics. The 1962 edition is particularly interesting due to its widespread circulation and historical context. In 1962, the Jefferson nickels were minted in Philadelphia, as indicated by the absence of a mint mark. Unlike coins from Denver or San Francisco, Philadelphia coins do not carry any letter beneath the date. Coins in extra fine condition are highly sought after. An extra fine coin will exhibit only slight wear on the high points of the design, with all major details remaining sharp. For the 1962 Jefferson nickel, this means you should see clear details in Jefferson's hair and a distinct Monticello on the reverse. Comparing an extra fine coin to a lower grade one, you can see the difference in detail and luster. Collectors often seek out coins in better conditions, which significantly affects their market value. So, what is the value of a 1962 Monticello Jefferson nickel in extra fine condition today? Based on recent sales and collector data, these coins typically range from $300,000. While this might seem like a significant amount, remember that the value can fluctuate based on the coin's specific condition and market demand. If you're looking to buy or sell a 1962 Jefferson nickel, it's crucial to consider a few factors. First, ensure the coin's authenticity and condition. Using a magnifying glass or consulting with a professional can help. Additionally, stay updated on the latest market trends by joining coin collecting forums and subscribing to numismatic publications. Collecting coins like the 1962 Monticello Jefferson nickel is not just about monetary value but also about preserving a piece of history. Each coin tells a story of its time, and as collectors, we have the privilege of holding that history in our hands. Next up, we're diving into a special piece of American numismatic history, the 2000 South Carolina commemorative quarter dollar, minted in Denver with an extra fine condition grading. Let's explore what makes this coin a valuable treasure for collectors today. The United States Mint released the 50 state quarters program from 1999 to 2008, honoring each state with unique quarter designs. In the year 2000, South Carolina was one of the 5 states commemorated. Let's take a closer look at this coin's design and what makes it so special. On the obverse side, we have the familiar profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. The reverse side, designed by Thomas D. Rogers, features iconic symbols of South Carolina: the palmetto tree, the state bird Carolina wren, and the state flower yellow jessamine. Additionally, the year 1788 is inscribed, marking South Carolina's entry into the Union. This particular quarter was minted in Denver, indicated by the D Mint mark. Coins from the Denver Mint are often sought after by collectors for their distinct minting characteristics. When we talk about an extra fine condition coin, we're referring to a grade on the Sheldon scale, where the coin has light wear on the high points but all major details remain sharp and clear. For collectors, this condition strikes a balance between affordability and eye appeal. An extra fine South Carolina quarter from 2000 might show slight wear on Washington's hair and the palmetto tree leaves but retains most of its original luster and detail. The grading is crucial as it significantly impacts the coin's value in the collector's market. Now, let's talk about the current market value. As of today, a 2000 South Carolina quarter in extra fine condition with a Denver Mint mark can fetch anywhere between $300,000. While this may seem modest, it's important to remember that coin values fluctuate based on demand, rarity, and economic conditions. In the broader context of numismatics, the real value of such a coin comes from its place in a collection. Completing a set of state quarters, especially those in higher grades, can be a rewarding challenge for any collector. So, why should you care about this quarter? Firstly, it's a tangible piece of history, commemorating South Carolina's unique heritage. Secondly, as part of the 50 state quarters program, it represents a significant era in U.S. coinage. And lastly, for budding collectors, it's an affordable entry point into the fascinating world of numismatics. If you're just starting your collection, here are a few tips: research and understand the historical and cultural significance of each coin. Condition matters. Strive to collect coins in the best condition you can afford. Network with collectors. Join local or online coin clubs to learn and trade with others. Keep your coins safe. Invest in proper storage to preserve your coin's condition. In conclusion, the 2000 South Carolina quarter from the Denver Mint in extra fine condition is more than just 25 cents. It's a small piece of history and a prized item for many collectors. Whether you're adding it to a complete set or simply appreciating it on its own, it's a coin with a story to tell. Thanks for joining us on this numismatic journey. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more coin collecting content. Share your thoughts or your own collecting stories in the comments below. Happy collecting!